Welcome to Monero.com's Monero Minute. This is an abbreviated news show that quickly explains all of the relevant news and exciting stuff and things that have happened around Monero the past week. Monero.com is a trustless, non-custodial app and website that allows you to interact with your Monero safely, securely, to make it a piece of cake to own your own keys and own your crypto. So without further ado, let's talk about the first story. Monero price underperforms in the crypto market. This is something that I've noticed as a trend over the past few months, and especially recently with a certain sort of dip with Monero price. Nothing really too exciting there, and that's definitely the moral of the story. In comparison to meme stocks and the rocket ship that apparently is Bitcoin, Monero has just sort of been very stable and traded sideways, and that's actually a good thing. General news outlet sentiment echoes that XMR is overall underperforming in the current manic crypto market, yet it has been a consistent coin over the last year. Honestly, Monero price action is whelming. Analysts seem to remain neutral on investing with the crypto coin, so XMR, frankly though, lacks the virality of meme coins and the excitability of the popular Bitcoin rocket, but its mostly sideways trajectory makes it a fantastic crypto to actually use, spend, play with, and not just hodl. All of crypto has a spicy volatility, but it's that gamble, it's the peaks, the valleys of the prices on Bitcoin and especially meme coins that is attractive to like gamer investors and newcomers to crypto, and it is newsworthy for many who are just learning about cryptocurrencies. Monero and its active user base, however, we care much less about the stock than seemingly the rest of the crypto space, and more so on the overall adoption and acceptance of crypto. So Monero is solidifying its identity through these early years of cryptocurrency as a coin you actually spend, and not just invest in hoping for a 10x rocket to the moon. Monero is seen as the cash of the internet and is widely adopted as a peer-to-peer currency for its privacy. If you want to get started with buying goods and services privately and securely online with XMR Coin, Monero.com makes it a piece of cake. So next up, we have some worldwide news that can change the face of crypto and how every single individual actually operates with it, how governments interact, and how exchanges are regulated. The EU is to become a global leader of crypto regulation, where many countries, especially the United States, as of recently with our news, I think you've seen it, has been failing and flailing far behind, where cities and countries, Hong Kong has been really fantastic, and EU right now, it looks like really taking some solid steps forward to actually solidify legislation for regulation. The European Parliament has endorsed the first set of EU rules designed to trace transfers of crypto assets. I did say the word trace, that's why it's in the Monero news. It's supposedly going to be combating money laundering and establish common regulations for supervision and customer protection. And overall, this was incredibly strongly supported with 529 votes in favor and 29 against. The legislation, which was agreed upon by the Parliament and Council negotiators in 2022 in June, aims to ensure that transfers of crypto assets, including cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and electronic money tokens, can be traced and suspicious transactions can be blocked. Now, this aligns with the travel rule concept already employed in traditional finance, where information about the source and beneficiary of the asset must accompany the transactions and be stored by both parties involved. Overall, sounds pretty doomsday for the Monero crowd. I know, but don't worry, we're actually going to get to that. So the new rules are going to apply to transactions above 1,000 euros from self-hosted wallets, which is wallet addresses managed by individual users, when interacting with hosted wallets provided by crypto asset service providers. However, the regulations will not cover person-to-person peer-to-peer transfers, which is mostly Monero transactions, conducted without the involvement of a provider or transfers among providers acting on their own behalf. So, for the Monero community, it looks like we got a way around it, and overall, actually, this might add protections for the general consumer, which is what we want crypto to actually be utilized by. And a lot of crypto doesn't have these protections, which is why there's rampant scamming. So, in a way, this is a double-edged sword, but maybe also a good thing. These regulations mark an important step in bringing cryptocurrencies within the regulatory framework and enhancing oversight and security in the crypto asset market within the European Union. And obviously, such a strong step forward by such a large global power is going to be a trendsetter. So for crypto in general, it adds security to use as a standard payment with standard purchases. And yeah, forcing Know Your Customer or KYC tracing, that does damage Monero use with exchanges. However, Monero is overwhelmingly used, again, as peer-to-peer currency. And so this news kind of only legitimizes crypto as a whole and solidifies XMR's place in the space. And finally, recently, Ledger released a new feature called Ledger Recover, and everybody hated that basically, except for maybe potentially new customers. So basically, this new feature encrypts user seed phrases so that you can recover all your money ever. They keep that information with third-party custodians if you opt into a subscription service. So all points of that, very frictional for most people. So critics, which is basically the entire crypto community, has a little bit of concern about its potential vulnerability there. The requirement for customers to provide ID and Ledger's previous security breaches, that's a thing. Ledger's leadership defended the service, awkwardly I might add on social media, stating that it's optional and under the user's control, and it's totally not a backdoor. They also emphasized transparency and the future plans for open sourcing the code for scrutiny. So the main point of contention, though, is that essentially it decentralizes the privacy elements that now allow government agencies to potentially subpoena for all that information, let alone the social engineering and ways that can now actually, be interacted with for hackers or deployment of, maybe you have more security of being able to recover your device, but so do nefarious intended people. It's also important to note that the longer cold devices are left without updates, which is an option if you don't want to do the service or updates and have this potential firmware put into your device, then the less useful that they're actually going to become over time. So very likely your Ledger device just won't be able to be used anymore. You might have to just go get a whole new device. Software libraries are used for interaction, and over a long enough period of time, they may upgrade the libraries that they're using, which could basically break compatibility. So not only will it be slower or not be useful for certain functionality and features or coins, but straight up, it just might not actually work. You might actually end up losing access to your money. So everything that people really bought into and loved about Ledger seems to have been perverted and turned around, and basically it's just not the same. So Ledger CEO actually argues that the recovery feature is necessary to attract new crypto users, and that the traditional method of relying on a piece of paper is outdated. He reiterated that there is no compromise to security with Ledger Recover. The debate highlights the challenge of balancing user experience with core principles in the crypto community. So with all that being said, are you comfortable with a hybrid custodial solution to crypto, or are you a fan of owning your keys wholly? And if you want control that doesn't come with complexity, because there are definitely ways that you could literally create your own bank, one option is Monero.com, which is the easiest and trustless way to own your keys to your crypto. And that's going to be all the hyper-relevant news stories for Monero specifically, which is how we like to keep it here at Monero.com. And capping the video, seems like there's a theme overall ramping momentum that crypto is more so being seen as nothing burger memes and just general stocks or investments. It's something you buy and hodl instead of something that you actually utilize. It's not quite the utopia there yet that we envision in Monero, friends, but I think we need more propaganda, call to action to create more educational, edutaining content that actually lets people know how you can actually use crypto. And we're definitely all about that with Monero.com, the easiest way to actually use your Monero. Thank you for keeping up to date with us, and we'll see you again next week.